Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the ThePrezEx TV. What's going on? It's your boy JB. This is my brother over here, El Presidente Rag. What's going on, my boy?
What's going on, brother? What's the good word?
Man, nothing but this good live right here. Told y'all we're gonna be back. Usually we
Yeah.
say something, be like we be loafing and
Man.
stuff happen, life happen.
Salute to you, my guy.
You know
Cause
what
it's
I'm
like
saying?
that, man. You told me, when did we do that? Thursday?
Thursday.
You was like, man, we're gonna do something Monday, and I was like, you know me, put me in the game, coach.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I was like,
Nigga ain't about to do it.
it's probably gonna be Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, it probably. Look, I told you, I got that. I got a presentation I got to do tomorrow, so I didn't think I was probably ain't gonna do something today, but I'm prepared. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But I was like, probably better today. Wednesday be a little thing, but yeah, go ahead and like this video right now, man. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe, do all that stuff, man. ThePrezEx TV. We're on all podcast streaming platforms. You know what I mean. So make sure you do that ASAP. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. But man, you kind of see the thumbnail, man. It say Mr. Don't Play. You know what I mean?
Project Cam.
Yeah. Project Cam. Let's get right into it. Like Cam Newton was, and actually, I got some new information about that too. Just came out probably like 30 minutes or an hour ago.
Okay.
Cam Newton was at his 7-on-7 camp, right? Camp in Georgia. Maybe it's in Atlanta. I'm not sure. But he got into a brawl. Initially, I thought it was some kids, like teenagers.
No. It wasn't.
Yeah. That's what I saw. When I look, I'm like, it's not teenagers.
No, it's just that he's every bit of 6'5".
Yeah. He's a big 6'6" dude.
Yeah.
So saw that, and my first thought was, dang, they got a good sucker punch on him. Whoever it was got a good sucker punch on him. The other thought I was like, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The other thought I had was like, I don't condone violence of any sort. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. But that's why niggas shoot dudes that size and don't even try to, you know what I'm saying, throw hands. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a grown man. Cam was holding a grown man with one hand.
David Lucas, don't be making those shoot people jokes. So.
Yeah. I ain't about that life, but I'm just like, Cam is a massive human being, and for you to you got to jump him because 1-on-1, you probably not going.
He was handling all three of them.
Yeah.
He had one dude in the headlock.
Yep.
He had one dude this way, and
pushing
then,
him.
Right, and then with the other hand, he had dude in the headlock, but with his hand, he had the other. He had two, like they was his chilling.
Yeah. So, that was the second thought. Unfortunately, I don't want to condone any violence, but this was some years ago. Remember, somebody from the New Orleans Saints got shot in New Orleans or something. Will Smith, maybe Will Smith or something like that. His name was. It was some big dude.
Yeah, one of their linemen.
Yeah, but it was like an altercation, and dude, what I'm gonna do? Fight you? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like I said, I'm not condoning anybody shooting nobody.
In the 90s, you remember when Paul Pierce got into it?
Yeah, he got stabbed. Yeah,
I mean, again, not condoning, but that's a big 6'8" dude,
6'7", 6'8". Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And what you gonna do? And then Paul Pierce from Inglewood, you know what I'm saying? He ain't from
right. Yeah,
he's from that area, where they get down at.
Yeah. He from that elk of it, and and so Cam on the other hand, he held his own, more than held his own, for it to be 3-4 dudes to and credit to Cam. I want to get all this out the way. Credit to Cam too, because he really could have hurt them dudes, literally more than what he gave out. Like you said, he was holding a dude in the headlock, pushing another dude with his other arm. He really could have towed into him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I would have had that type of restraint. Right. You know what I'm saying? During that time, so he gets credit for that. But then on the flip side too, it's like Cam, he got to be careful, bro, because I think I've mentioned this before on the pod or something. He, even on his pod, he talks greasy. He talks greasy. I remember one camp last year or something, somebody said something to him and he brought up, hey, but my pocket's fat or something like that. And I was like, you need to be careful when somebody's saying something, then you referencing money because, these people in the hood that are, coming from the hood or coming from different areas don't have access to that. So it's almost like you poking fun at somebody in their situation, not intentionally. I'm sure intentionally he's not trying to do that, but how it comes off is it looks like, like you trying to say, I'm up and you down, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so he got to be careful with that. And I think Georgia, too, is kind of like Tennessee is like open carry.
Yeah.
So it's not even like a, like a requirement type of thing situation going on.
Like, let me say, I do condone violence in the right situation.
In the right situation.
Now, just going and looking to start slapping people or hitting people, like, I'm not for that. Just going and randomly shooting people, I'm not for that. I don't believe if I walk up to in somebody's space and I start something and I'm getting my ass whooped, I need to take an ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Like how right is it for me to go start something with somebody and then I'm losing and I decide I'm gonna pull a gun because I'm losing? Yeah. But I started the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I initiated it. So to me, I feel like if I'm guilty of murdering somebody or killing somebody in that, because it's not self-defense, if you start the fight and you getting your ass whooped, I need to be thrown up under the jail.
I think officially that's called like a hoe move.
Right. That's exactly. What you call definitely like a hoe move. Yeah, it's a hoe move. So, but if I was to do something like that, I need to be thrown up under the jail. And whatever the consequence is, you know what I'm saying? Because niggas need to learn how to take L's again. Yeah. There's a lot of people right now that's out on the street that's been taking lives because they didn't know how to take an L. They couldn't take an ass whooping. You started something that you couldn't finish. And instead of being a man and learning and growing, you go do the hoe move, and now you got to go let them know, oh, I ain't no bitch. No, you really are a bitch when you do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so guess what? You deserve to be thrown up under the jail, whatever the consequences are. And I don't care what color you are, black, white, purple. I'm for right. And when you right, no matter what color you are, I'm for that. When you wrong, no matter what color you are, I'm for the consequences.
Yeah.
To your point, I will say, yeah, Cam does talk greasy, but he proved to them today or the other day that he does oil changes for a living, apparently. What and Joy Taylor, she said something.
Your girl Joy.
And I want to say that her brother is in the Hall of Fame. He used to play
Jason
for the
Taylor?
Used to play for the Dolphins. But she said, like, for all of you dudes that's conveyor belt men, like, meaning we all come, you know what I'm saying? We all got the same build or whatever.
Right.
Like, Cam ain't a conveyor belt type dude. Like, some of these dudes are not conveyor belt type.
No.
Like, she said, guys spend a little bit more time on him. That's what happens when you run up on somebody who wasn't made on the conveyor. And I feel her on that because, that's again, true. I'm not, if I run up on somebody that size, I'm prepared to take whatever L that come with it.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? I might fight dirty. I might take your ankle out. You know what I'm saying? I might hit you in the back of the kneecap. But
no, you're going to fight dirty.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I'm not going to go to somebody 6'5" with no gun. At the end of the day, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's brother, that's somebody's dad.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? What I didn't like was and that goes back kind of like what we were talking about in the last episode. Like, you cannot be so invested in something to where now, because Cam could press charges on them folks. You know what I'm saying? Then what? Now you're not, in your kids' lives forever. He could.
Could he?
He could. Yes.
How?
Yes. That's assault.
Yeah.
That is assault.
Now that kind of bleeds into this other information that I just came up with now. Originally, I was like, probably like he could do that. But I don't know what podcast it was, but it was some coaches that were involved in that 7-on-7 that were just on a pod tonight. And, they kind of went into the situation. Was like, basically the people don't know, like, Cam been talking greasy like the last couple weeks or last couple days of that camp or whatever. And so he said how it originally started was, Cam was, saying some stuff like, y'all wouldn't have the position or jobs that y'all have now. It wasn't because of me, woo, kind of, bigging him up and being like, y'all, some maggots just, kind of out here getting the crumbs or whatever like that. And so he said originally, I guess when the tape started, one stuff is on social media. Cam was grabbing somebody by the collar or neck or something like that. That was the dude's brother that was on that podcast, and he was saying that, you know, he saw Cam the one who grabbed him first, and so then the other dude was like, "That was my brother. I see a 6'6" dude grab my brother like that. I'm gonna go, you know what I'm saying, and do that." And so that's pretty much how it started. But like I said, I give him credit because I don't know how you don't hit somebody or smash them. Like, you could have jumped him, but Cam could have tore into at least one of them, like real good, like battery.
But then you also got to keep in mind too, with him having the fat pockets, if I hit any one of these,
it's
dudes,
over with. Yeah, he know
you know what I'm saying. Even if I'm in the right, now I got to spend money in litigation.
Yep.
Just so I don't take an L because y'all are gonna try to sue. Because again, whole move, you don't know how to take an L, but. Yeah. I will say,
he was in a lose situation.
And I wasn't never in no situation like that. You may, and this will bleed into another one of our conversations a little later on, but like you may have experienced this. Mine was more so we do a show, we do a gig, and you got people coming up in the street. Battle, like you remember we went to TSU, you know what I'm saying, and we like, dude, we paid for the space, you know what I'm saying, like we doing that, we ain't bothering nobody, you know what I'm saying, and you want to come up, you're trying to make your name off of what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, and then even it's like, you know, my girl, shout out my girl AO, you know, she just so happened to be coming by. I was like, man, you know what, you know, I pulled Pac when he was when he told the Outlaws to give, like, hey, yo, take care of this, like, and she destroyed him.
She did.
And then by the time she got through rapping, we couldn't even find the nigga no more. He done disappeared.
Yeah, he walked off.
But I brought that up to say, like, a lot of times and being around guys, you know, I got cousins that played on high level basketball. You know, of course, being around, you know, Keith Lee. I'll tell you, got people that'll come up and say slick stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, just watching the restraint, you know, that he had, like, he just kind of laugh it off and wave. You know what I'm saying? And, like, he wouldn't even take dudes in the post. Like, he could beat you shooting threes.
Yeah.
He would go all the way out to the three and just call it money. Just not, and you'd be like, dang, this big 6'11" guy shooting like that. But he had people coming at him like that. So I'm not saying that Cam was in the right. Because, again, you know, I've been on Cam with his Ranger Smith hats and all that. Like, I don't always agree with everything Cam say, but what I will say is that
he a real one, though.
I know what it's like, and he probably does poke the bear.
For sure.
But at the same time, everybody, like, he's an easy target, too. Yeah. People get on the way he dresses. People get on his hot takes. Yeah. You know, they still clown him for the Super Bowl loss. Like, they clown him for the time in New England. So it's like, we don't know what, because on the one side, okay, well, maybe he did grab your brother. But I'm looking at it like, if he was really trying to do some destruction, he could have, especially when you sucker punched him.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And then, because if he was on some demon mode, destruction mode, you don't know what the conversation was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll use an example. Our boy, shout out, you know, Sam Holloway. I remember this was years ago, and this is when you know, we was, you know, rapping and stuff like that and doing our thing. Like, we were in the Family Life Center. And so Cameron, who, you know, be doing security for the church and stuff like that. Like, we joke, like, you know what I'm saying? We playing a thing like where, you know, you hit somebody, they hit you back, you know, like the little strawberry thing, whatever. Right. So we're doing that, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, he had just got me good. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. I'm like, all right, I'm going to catch you slipping. Yeah. I'm going to catch you slipping. So I go around, I caught him slipping. Bam, I tagged him. We all laughing. Next thing I know, from the side, you know what I'm saying? Like, Darrell ran up and grabbed, because he didn't know. All he saw was, it looked like, oh, you hit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My nephew, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, you know, man. And then Cam was like, no, we was playing. And then he was like, oh, dang, my bad, Shay. Like, but in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And again, I didn't. All I know is I felt something on the side of me. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I turned and he, you know, got my shirt. Yeah. I'm like, dude, come on now. We this ain't what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. And he like, nah, man, what you? And Cameron was like, no, we playing this. Yeah. And then he was like, huh? Oh, dang, man, my bad, Shay. My bad, Shay. I'm like, no, we good. Like, I get it because again, I'm a big brother. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when I would see somebody mess with my brothers, my first instinct is to be on demon time. But I had to learn. Let me see what's what first before I react. Right. Because sometimes your reaction can be an overreaction. Yeah. And then you cause more trouble because you call yourself, you know what I'm saying, you putting the cape on and you trying to save the day. Yeah. You know, because on the flip side, again, we don't know what the conversation was between Cam and the brother. What if he hauls off and his Cam and Cam security, like I said, open carry? Yeah. And we saw what happened in the 90s with Snoop Dogg when dude tried to run up on Snoop and Snoop security killed dude. They got off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the murder was the case. I was like, the security guard got off, Snoop got off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I just think that people need to learn how to take L's. We need to have better restraint. We need to be more responsible. Man. Don't run up on 6'6" niggas.
No. That's a no. Like, and Cam is...
Unless it's 6 of y'all, but...
Yeah. 6 or 7, you know, may do it. But Cam,
but the way he was slanging them...
Yeah, it was different. Cam is... I wouldn't say he's a professional troller. Like, a professional troller.
He's a semi-pro troller.
Semi-pro.
Yeah, he's
professional is 50.
Right, oh no, 50
is he's elite.
50 sits on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, he's elite. Now,
of trolls.
Now, but Cam, like, to me, like, he has to be careful with that because, you know, like some of the stuff he says, and I said on this before, like, he has to be careful. I hate when you talk about them or you bring up a good point or something like that. Now, if they in a certain tax bracket, they always bring up their money. Right. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't, maybe because I don't have, 8-9 figures or something in the bank, and so I can't really understand that. But to me, I would think when I do, I wouldn't use that, as a ploy at the end. I just hate when people do that because you know the economy and stuff now with the inflation, like, nigga, like, dang, like that's a blow. And so now when you say that, now some other people already feel a certain way about you. And so you keep on poking the bear. It's like, he need to be careful with that. But like I said, salute to Cam because it could have been way worse, on his end and the other folks' end. It's just like, I'm like, should he even do that anymore, those camps? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, maybe he should fall back from them camps. At least in his hometown or something like that, because it's like...
I mean, but I just think when you're on that level, you're going to always have people coming for you.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And that's... So, either you got to learn how to deal with it, or you got to be a professional trash talker like a Michael Jordan or Larry Bird. Going to what you said, like, about the bringing up the money thing, and I really detest when people do that because...
Yeah, it's a sucker
to
move.
me,
I don't like that.
It's about opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how many people do you know that you work with on a job that was like, man, this dude really know his, stuff. Yeah. Like if he was designing sprockets or boats for NASA, like this dude would be a millionaire. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's sitting over here making sprockets and bolts at the Navy base. You know what I'm saying? Or like you sit up and see somebody making a presentation. It's like, dang, this person could be giving TED Talks. But it's just about opportunity.
It is.
So you got an opportunity. And guess what? You maximized it. Yeah. Bravo. You did not, God blessed you with something, you didn't drop the ball. Yeah. That's what's up. Right. But in reality, it's a lot of people that have not gotten to certain levels just because they did not have the opportunity. Yeah. We also negate the times, like sometimes we act like we did it. And we forget, like, man, it was favor. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It was being in the right place at the right time. It was having certain relationships or having your relationship with the Lord. You praying for something. He made it happen for you. And so now, I'm this gazillionaire. And so I'm shitting on everybody who ain't got it. And you forget. Yeah. Like and we got to look at what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah. Like, go back in the script. Like, Nebuchadnezzar, God made him lose everything. Like, he was out in the wild. Eating grass because he said, look at what I did. Yeah. And so he ended up losing his mind. Another passage of scripture, it talks about the guy who had all this stuff and he was hoarding all this stuff and he looked at everything he had. He was like, look at all this. Tomorrow I'm finna go build some more stuff so I can keep all of what I got. And he said, you fool, tonight your soul is required of you. And so I don't put a lot of stock in that because how you talking about the economy, which in essence is one day it's up, one day it's down. Yeah, man, you could be here today or gone tomorrow. Yeah. I have never seen a Brinks truck following a hearse. And in some cases, I've heard of some times where like somebody who was in the street or whatever, he get buried with all his jewelry and rings on. Like 2 weeks later, they digging the grave up. They done defiled the grave and dug it up and then took all his chains and watches and everything off of him, his rings and all that, because what good is it doing in the ground?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Might as well give it to me.
Exactly. You can only use it while you're here. Yeah. And so to your point, it is a low move, a sucker move, because some of these dudes, if they had your opportunity, they probably could shit on you because they would have more or be in a better position than you would. Yeah. Because if they got it, they wouldn't drop the ball. They would take that money and flip it and stop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we don't know why certain people get certain opportunities and certain people don't.
And another thing, too, you brought that up, brought something straight to my mind with that because Cam has lately been, talking about game changers, game managers, and stuff of that nature. And it's like, whenever somebody bring up that, it's always the opportunity. Like, I didn't have Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, or something, a running back like Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that. So now he bring that up as an excuse kind of for him, like why he didn't, he had quote unquote these scrubs, you know what I'm saying? But you didn't have the opportunity like a Brock Purdy or something like that. To me, it's almost like when you.
I mean, but on the flip side, didn't he play with Steve Smith though?
For 1 year, he did.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Brock Purdy in his 1 year, before he broke his elbow, played with Debo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but you had Smitty for you. You had Greg Olsen for most of your career.
Yeah,
you had
he
D'Angelo Williams.
Yeah. He had
You see what I'm saying? Like you had him.
Yeah.
You had some guys. Now you might not have had them out, but you had some dudes.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? Like you had one of the best defenses with Jones and Kuechly and those guys, and even
Kuechly,
before he kind of fell off a cliff, the one who used to always get to fighting all the time, ended up getting traded to Washington or going to Washington free agency.
The cornerback, D'Angelo.
Yeah. No, not D'Angelo.
What's his name? I thought his name was D'Angelo.
His name was Brandon something too.
Brandon? I know what you're talking about.
But yeah,
he played in Atlanta too. The Falcons.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
But you had him.
Yeah.
Because he got to fight with Odell.
Yeah.
But you had him. You know what I'm saying? Like you had some guys. You had a Super Bowl winning coach. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ron Rivera won the Super Bowl as a player. He was a part of the '85 Bears defense. That's why he always gets a job. Right. All those Bears defense guys get jobs because they know defense.
Yeah.
And he was a linebacker on that '85 Bears defense, so he knows his defense. Yep. And he put together a stellar defense. You had before Kelvin Benjamin decided he wanted to turn into the Michelin Man, he was good for you. You had Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's not act like you didn't have any pieces. Yeah. Granted, Brock Purdy was in a great situation.
Yeah. Opportunity.
But if we're being realistic, how come Nate Sudfeld didn't do what Brock Purdy did? How come he played backup on Minnesota? We had him before after Garoppolo got hurt. He played for a year. It was our quarterback. CJ Beathard. You can't just stick anybody in the Shanahan offense. It's only been certain dudes that have done well in that offense, and certain dudes have not. So to act like, I'm not going to act like Purdy is the savior because he's not. He's got some areas he can improve on. But, let's not act like he's a scrub. Yeah. Because when we beat...
Pretty good to me, though.
Yeah, when we beat, what was it, the Lions in the second half of that game, it looked like he did some game changing in the second half.
Yeah.
It didn't look like no game managing.
Yeah.
He was, when he had to get out that pocket, and he wasn't just running to the sidelines either. He was shooting that joke up the middle. He was breaking people with it. Like, he hit a juke move in the Super Bowl on.
Yeah.
That looked like some game changing stuff to me. That didn't look like no managing.
Pretty good, bro. Even to end that, the whole game manager, game changer thing, I think is, to me, he was kind of poking the bear with that. Because if you really look at it, any great quarterback, you got to manage the game.
Right.
You got to manage the game, and then depending on play, you may be a game changer. 4th and 1, you know what I mean. So, but at the end of the day, you got to be a game manager. Now, this next one here, you talked about it before. We weren't even gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But I felt it in your heart that you wanted to hit on it a little bit with Jay Whitlock and
Oh, I didn't. You know what? I didn't even think we was gonna talk like. Look, I know, no. But
that
was the pre-conversation.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I saw
because
I
know that's your guy. That's your homie.
Hey, like I said, Jason Whitlock, he can be right sometimes, but I heard it in you. I heard it in you.
You were a wit sexual. Like a brother.
Don't go there. No. But it's like I would say this. Like you watch more of it than me, but just to set it up. Jason Whitlock, he has a show on YouTube called Fearless, and I am subscribed to. I watch it sometimes. I'm not a faithful watcher, but I chime in. He had a show with D1 maybe a couple days ago or something like that, and they talked about a lot. But what was really intriguing was them talking about Deion Sanders and his views about him. If you follow anything about Whitlock, Whitlock has been on a smear tour with Deion Sanders the whole year for Colorado, and just really has been real distasteful with a lot of stuff he had to say. Some of his thumbnails just be kind of really out of pocket, and D1 was pretty much there to defend Deion and the whole thing, and so they got into that, got into religion, faith, Christianity, and stuff like that. So, Rag, tell me about it, brother.
I mean, like I said, again. And I had a shout out to our boy Sel, Thomas Sellers, because we actually had a lengthy conversation about a week ago, because he said he was tripping off my Uncle Ruckus comments towards Whitlock, and I said, you got to remember, the first thing I said is that I respect him as a journalist.
You said that?
Yes, about Whitlock. Yes,
okay,
he is. And
he's a good journalist.
One reason that I am disappointed.
Yeah.
Is because I know what his capability is as a journalist.
Yep.
And a lot of the stuff goes beyond journalism. Like I said,
True.
You saying Stephen A. Smith is like Tupac, and that Tupac is responsible for, the failure of black men in America because everybody wanted to be him, and that's the reason we're not fathers. And so it's like comments like that, and that's the kind of point I was making and going into this Deion thing. It don't have nothing to do with journalism.
True.
It's a lot of pandering. Mm-hmm. And Sel kind of pointed out to me, like, look, we don't know that he really believes that, but he knows who his base is, and it's about being entertaining. And when you're trying to be entertaining, it's not about being right. It's about whatever I can say that's salacious, that's going to get clicks, that's going to get views, that's going to get people tuned in, that's going to support. And if you read the comments, I promise it's a lot of Cheeto-faced, red hat wearing people in the comments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. So do you think what he's saying about the Deion stuff, we can go into different other stuff, but the stuff about Deion, do you think he actually believes that?
Yes, I do.
Me too. I do.
No, but like I said, like the stuff about Stephen A., I believe he believes.
Yeah.
The stuff about Deion, I believe he believes.
Yeah.
Some of the takes he has on the black-white thing, I may say he might kind of just be pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
But I believe it's a personal thing against Deion and a personal thing against Stephen A., and that's why he kind of goes at them beyond the journalism stuff. Stuff that doesn't have anything to do with journalism. It's just like personal attacks on people's character, on people's personal lives, like, and stuff that ain't even really news.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Deion ain't in the news because of his chains or his jewelry. Like him saying he don't have no humility because, like, oh, he's not Christian-like because he doesn't have any humility.
Yeah.
I'm like, and D1 actually made a good point. He said, hold on. He said, your show is called Fearless. He said, with who? It don't say with Jesus Christ. It say with Jason Whitlock.
Yeah. He
said, you're saying this is my show. I'm him. He was like, when you're playing sports, that's a part of sport. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if I'm just walking up to everybody I meet on the street and I'm like, hey, nigga, I'm him. Okay, well, you could say I'm a little arrogant.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, from what I've seen, whenever I've seen because cameras show up with Deion wherever he is, I've seen him be nothing but gracious to reporters and the fans who want autographs and the people who shout him out. Like, doesn't seem like an arrogant person to me.
Right.
You know, he's never too busy to talk to a fan or talk to a kid, or that's a level of humility. You know what I'm saying? And we were talking about this off camera, like, you know, when the envoys from Egypt and different places in Africa came to see Solomon, like, what's the first thing he did? He showed them the kingdom. He showed them the treasures. He showed them the riches, and then he showed them his wisdom. And so now one could say, "Oh, you showing off your wisdom? You arrogant."
Yeah.
No, but Scripture says nobody that lived was richer than him. Nobody was wiser than him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus made a reference when he was talking about how Solomon and all of his robes and splendor didn't look as good as the flowers look. Because he was talking about how God takes care of the birds and the flowers. But he alluded to how fly Solomon was.
Yeah.
But Solomon was a guy who didn't care nothing about, but guess what? He was flyer than everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When the rich young ruler got disappointed because Jesus told him to give everything up and come follow him. And what is the next thing he told disciples? If he had followed me, he would have not only gained everything back in this life, but the life to come also. So in other words, all the material stuff you would have gave up, you would have got back. Yeah. Jesus told the disciples, whatever you give up in this life, whether it be homes, whether it be family, whether it be money, you're going to get all of that back. That's all material stuff. You see what I'm saying? So like material stuff is not bad. It's when that becomes your motivation, when that becomes your idol. When I'll kill you over material stuff, that's when it's bad. When I'll fight you over material stuff, that's when it's bad. When I will lose my religion or cross my family to get it, that's when it's bad. But it ain't bad to have it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that part where he was talking about, because he has on jewelry, you're 50-some years old. You're not supposed to do that. That's something I did when I was in my 20s. Now that's like a lukewarm Christian.
Yeah. Then like I heard that part which you were talking about, and the point that D1 made about Fearless, and he said Jason Whitlock. He said, I think Whitlock was like, he telling about Travis Hunter, talking about I'm him. You know, like, it's truth be told about Whitlock. Sometimes I fool with him. He is a good journalist, but when he's been talking about Dion, I had to jump off. I had to jump off the train, and I just think Whitlock sounds just real ignorant, especially when he talked about faith and Christianity and religion, right, to where it's like I almost kind of felt sorry for him, because it's like you're saying this, I'm 56, but like we're different people though. That don't mean, like, since you wouldn't wear a chain or something like that, why somebody else got to be different or can't be different and wear chains and do stuff like that if that's the way they express themselves. You know what I mean? So I think Whitlock is off base with that. D1, I didn't, like I said, I didn't see the full thing when they're talking about with Dion, but I think Whitlock needs to like relax, 'cause I think he's a professed Christian just over the last few years, I think. You know what I'm saying? For me noticing when he did that stuff like that, 'cause he stayed in Nashville. I think he had a whole little testimony, whole story, and he sounds like, you know what I'm saying, he's like just doing a little too much when it comes to
Chris Broussard. Amongst everybody in the industry, they recognize Chris Broussard as being not only a man of faith, but one of the best, most humble, genuine people who, if you want an example of somebody who walks that walk, look at him. He don't mess with Whitlock. And it's like, if anybody, like, Jesus had two brothers that wrote scriptures, James and Jude. So if anybody could say that was Jesus' like little brother or nephew or something, it's Chris Broussard. Jesus' nephew don't mess with Jason Whitlock. He is one of the most forgiving, graceful, genuine people. He don't mess with Whitlock. I want you to go listen to, if you haven't, look up when you get a chance, look up Ann Coulter, Coulter. Just listen to some of her takes and stuff she says. That's one of the people that Whitlock will jump over through hoops and, run into a burning building to stand up for her and vouch for her. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying. This gonna sound crazy, but like, she is a white woman. She don't need you, dude. Like, the world got her. The world comes to her rescue. Like if Karen had a face in the dictionary, it's Ann Coulter. Okay, she don't need you to save her. Every police officer is going to say, like, she is the one that gets saved.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it's a lot of niggas that's in jail because of people like Ann Coulter. It's a lot of people who've been falsely accused of crimes because of people like Ann Coulter. And that's somebody who Jason Whitlock's, will jump over if he don't look like he can run a marathon, but I guarantee you he'll surprise you to save her. Yeah. Okay? And that's, so for me, it's stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not saying that he's not true to his wife. I don't know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you ain't never heard me say, oh, he's a fake creep. No, I don't know that.
Right. I don't know.
And it's not, it's some things that are questionable, but it's not something that if I was a non-believer, I could look at it and be like, oh, this what y'all like?
Yeah.
I don't see that. Now is he a little too much sometimes? Yes, but not so much to where I can't say that he genuinely doesn't have a relationship with the Lord. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that because I'm not the person who draws the line on. Because who am I? Come on, man, who am I to talk about people's walk?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like, shoot, my walk, I'm like in the wheel. I'm like the handicap sign. You know what I'm saying. But so I don't clown nobody because, like I said, I'm in a wheelchair with my walk. But like I said, man, he just I'm shout out to D1 because he handled it gracefully, and
he did.
Whitlock really didn't have a lot to say.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And again, D1 handled it gracefully. He wasn't, even though they were dialoguing and kind of having a intense debate. D1 came like he was smiling the whole time. He was addressing him, sir. Like he was addressing him like an elder.
Yeah.
So man, shout out to D1. You know what I'm saying, man. Way to do that, and hopefully, man, Whitlock. Like I said, man, I got hope in your journalism. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that you say and do. I still want you to win. I'm still subscribed to your show. You know what I'm saying? Whether I disagree with you 95% of the time, prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's that fool. My boy Pat always knock me and talking about it. It's your boy Whitlock. He said, it's your boy Whitlock. Oh, here you go, your boy Whitlock again. But like,
shout out Big Pat, man. I miss Big Pat.
Yeah, Project Pat, man. But yeah, he knocked me. But something like that. When I need to jump off the train, I jump off. It's not to me.
Oh no, you on there? You got season passes.
I got season passes. Hey, it depends.
They don't even check your ticket.
It depends, man. But you know what I'm saying? I don't rock with Whitlock when you're talking about this whole thing with Deion. Now, this next thing is you heard of the court storming. The court storming stuff, right? I think the other day Duke was going against Wake Forest, and I think Duke was top 10 in the nation. You know, Wake Forest and Duke for years have been a rivalry.
The ACC.
You know what I mean? So
I don't want to say they're all on Tobacco Road, aren't they?
Yeah. Duke, North Carolina, Wake Forest.
North Carolina, Wake Forest.
All on that. So they won the other day, and one of the Duke players got injured because. I mean, first of all, let me just put this out there. Now, what I saw some of the video. The video was the dude, their center, Kyle Flipozzi. I don't know, they call him Flip. The dude from Duke. And
I don't want to say his name wrong. I know.
Flip. That what Coach Shire calls him in the post game. He said Flip. So when the game was over with, he was going nonchalantly trying to just go to. They already lost. They know it was about to be a wrap. And he didn't have no urgency about himself to get to the sideline to go
Kyle
to
Filipowski.
Kyle Filipowski?
Filipowski.
Okay.
Yeah, Philip with an F instead of a P. Yes, it's Kyle Filipowski.
It's Flip for me. Flip. So he, instead of going off that court, now the people storming the court now, I heard he tried to put his leg out to trip one of the on-goers on the court, but instead of tripping them, somebody else came and bum rushed him while they was coming to the court, and he hurt his ankle. So, and then Coach John Shire came in the postgame, was talking about, oh, we need to ban this and doing this. Now, we know Duke, you know what I'm saying? If any rule is going to change, it's going to be because a Duke player or something said it. So if a rule changes or anything happened this year or next year, you know, put it out there. It's going to be possibly because of the Duke player. Now, because at the end of the day, court storming, I don't think should be outlawed. I just think you need to have a better way of how you usher in that situation. Like have 6 or 7 security guards or whatever to, get the opposing team out of there. You know what I mean? Or I saw Cam and Mace this morning, or just win. You know what I mean? Like to eliminate anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
shout out to Cam and Mace, man. They always
just win.
They gonna say something.
Yeah.
It's like shout out to them.
Yeah, he just said just win. So I don't think I think court storming is just a part of the college atmosphere, the part of college basketball. Also, it's like in the past we can always use like the excuse like, man, these are just college students coming in, and they really student athletes, but these niggas getting paid now. They're pretty much like professional. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't really use that excuse anymore. But I'm not sure if you saw Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably a month or so ago. A court storm, and they lost at Ohio State, and they rushed the court, and they shoved her out the way. Now it wasn't a shove. Actually, when you look at it, Caitlin Clark actually got in the way of the girl, and she happened to push her. But Caitlin Clark, like, she sold it though. Got on the ground. Oh my gosh, my shoulder. And then they got in the press conference. Oh my gosh, you got to protect your players out there.
She pulled a Ann Coulter, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she pulled a is it Karen?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's the name. Okay, my bad.
Look up Karen in the dictionary. It's like, hold up. You keep going. Okay. I'm gonna show you what Ann Coulter look like. Okay. And you tell me if I'm making it or not. But keep going. All right. You talking about Caitlin?
Yeah. So Caitlin Clark got pushed down. Well, actually, it wasn't even a push down. What actually happened? She ran into the girl coming into the court. Like, the thing is, dog, when a court, after you lose and it's a court storming, you need to get out of Dodge, especially if you're the opposing team. You got to get out the way. It should be no nonchalant walking or doing this and getting out the way, because now you're asking for it. Just like if a gun is, yeah, that's real. Yeah,
I can't make this up. This is who your boy be defending. And that's what Caitlin Clark did. She went full, and like I said, go look up some of her takes.
Yeah,
and you gonna be like, wow, like this really like. Yeah. But that's what. So when you said Karen, I want you to see that is the face.
Yeah. Now to finish my point out with this it's like you walking nonchalant off a court that's storming with thousands of students coming onto the court. It's kind of like, to me, it's like when somebody get the bus and getting the shooting in the air, and you just walking nonchalantly to your car, or you trying to get out of Dodge. If a gun is blazing and you hear a gun blast, what you gonna do? You gonna run as fast as you can, get low, do whatever you got to do. So people that talking about it's so dangerous, yes, it can be dangerous, but you need to have some urgency getting off that floor, because we know things can happen. 4 or 5 people get on there, you can get pushed, and it could just be an ugly scene. So, what you think about that, Rack?
I mean, like, again, like I don't like that whole debacle with my girl, Caitlin Clark. Better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't like that.
But
I ain't like that.
I'll say this thing about the Duke guys. Oh, you need to ban it. Like, nobody storms the court more.
Man, the Duke crazies,
Cameron crazies,
yeah.
Cameron Indoor Arena.
Yep.
Like, that's why they call the Cameron crazies. Like, them jokers will storm the court after, like, just meaningless ACC games. They're
especially when they lose to Carolina.
The court. Right, or like when they beat Carolina, they storming the court. They beat North Carolina State,
right?
Wake Forest, like any of those ACC teams. You know what I'm saying? Like South Carolina, like they're storming the court to just show they're so exhilarated at Cameron Indoor Arena.
Right,
I mean, like everybody from Bartholomew to Phillip. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just. Running on the court, and it's cool to quote the great Finesse two times. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. So in other words, it's like, I guess it's the reverse situation. Like, it's cool, it's okay when we're the ones doing it,
right?
But when somebody else is doing it, like, oh, we got to stop it.
We got to do something about it.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is getting out of hand. Like, y'all are the ones who, Like that's what y'all do. Like all them years. Like I remember, I used to watch when Duke was winning those national championships when they had Leitner and Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley and Cherokee Parks and all those guys. I'm watching that. You know what I'm saying? Like so now all of a sudden y'all want to stop. And in that situation, like they like so to paint the picture, like the Duke players saw what was happening.
Yeah.
They all move out the way.
Yeah, he just like
he decides I'm going to be in the middle of the scrum.
Right. Push me if you want to.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like you can.
Right. Push me if you want to.
But again, what did we say? If 6 or 7 people run up on 6-6, it's different.
It's different.
You got 10,000 rushing you.
You got
That 6'11" don't mean nothing when you got 10,000 strong coming.
Nope.
And they probably been in the stands drinking.
Yep. Definitely.
They turned.
Definitely.
And just keep in mind, like my side hustle, like I do security. Like I'm telling you now, more security is not the answer.
Man,
because guess what, nigga, I'm not stopping. Sometimes it be like paper bags flying in the wind. I'm not stopping that, nigga. I observe and report, nigga. That is what I do, and it's an armed gig. Like if somebody run up on me, like you better either be better than me that day, or you better be right with the Lord. But like if I see you doing, I'm not trying to save nothing.
Yeah,
I'm calling 911. Now you try to run up in my car, that's a different story. But you run up in somebody else's car, I'm writing my report. I'm putting in my little chat. Need assistance ASAP.
Yeah.
Call 911 and waiting for them to show up. I am not stopping nothing. So now you talk about these security guards, most of them, and I'm not even in the shape that I want to be in.
Right.
But like, if you put me up against a lot of these guys that work the game, like a lot of these guys, man, he looked like he needed a knee replacement. He didn't have a hip replacement. Yeah. He's nursing a hernia over there. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't look like it, but he got gout. That's why his pants so big. They flaring at the bottom because his shins to his ankles is like swollen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you're doing. And again, I'm not, because we live in a sensitive world now, I'm not downing people who've had knee replacement or hip replacements or gouts. But what I'm saying is, if you got gout, you ain't chasing nobody.
Yeah.
If you got a hernia, and I don't know if you ever had one, but it's kind of like right in, you know, like that, like that's what made Kevin Johnson retire early. He used to play for Phoenix with Barkley.
Yeah, okay.
He kept getting sports hernias.
Okay.
Like it's debilitating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you got guys who are past their prime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Who ain't doing no kind of workout. Again, like a fart will take them down. And you like, oh, we gonna hire 25 more. Yeah, they gonna get ran over too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like they look like the diabetes dude. They look the Quaker Oats dude. Yeah. Wilford Brimley and the Orville Redenbacher popcorn dude. Yeah. And the Pepperidge Farm Remembers dude. Mm-hmm. Like that's who doing security. You been to the Grizzlies game? Yeah. Right. It's some old white guy with Santa Claus hair that's 300 pounds. Another black dude that look like Uncle Ben's, right? Like that's who doing security.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, so now we don't say nothing crazy because out of respect, because we were taught to respect our elders. But man, these drunken kids, man, you trying to storm the court, like man, come on, man.
You're not stopping that.
That ain't the thing, but I don't know. I'm not gonna say it should be banned. I just feel like unless it's like a game winning shot, in most cases when it's an upset, y'all already know what it is.
Right.
Man, like 30 seconds left. Man, I get most of the starters out. Yeah. I have all my walk-ons on the court. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When that last buzzer saying, man, we'll shake hands afterwards. Yeah. Let's go. Let them do what they do and celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, what we got next?
Man, it's interesting here, man. My guy, I think he's the number one tennis player in America. If not number one, he's number two. Frances Tiafoe. Mm-hmm. Shelton may be number one, but that's neither here nor there. He's one of the top Americans. He said something interesting on ESPN. I saw it on Instagram. And he was quoted as saying that tennis, he believes, is the hardest sport to play. Now, you know me, like I was
gonna say, like I really want to see what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Now, I've played tennis at not at the highest level, meaning pro level, but kind of like semi-pro competitive.
The next
college
highest
tennis,
that you can get.
College tennis, real competitive in juniors, national tournaments, southern tournaments, stuff of that nature. So now it is a bit much, I will admit, to say for him to say it's the hardest. Like, I get where he's coming from because of, playing tennis it's an individual sport, right? Like, it's nobody else. I can't pass it to Scotty. I can't dish it down to Grant. I can't, so I need Dennis Rodman to do the rebounds. Like, you know what I mean?
You
like
on your own.
You on your own. And so the type of agility, hand-eye coordination that you have to have.
Definite.
The type of athlete, I think a lot of people, the type of athlete you have to be to play at a real competitive level in tennis, I believe is underrated.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because most tennis players are not like these mammoth, 6'5", 225, 6'4", 230. Now you do have
your boy,
some.
I was finna say your boy was
you do have something like that now.
not Djokovic.
Djokovic, yeah, Djokovic he about 6'3".
I was finna say I know he over 6'3".
Yeah, he about 6'3". Now, but like it's a tough sport because just we playing these nationals and regional tournaments, we may go 3 sets. You know what I mean? We may have to come back another 2 or 3 hours later to play another match. You know what I mean? Like, I think tennis is top 3. I wouldn't say the toughest, but I believe tennis is probably the most top 3 definitely to play. Right? Now, I would say.
Let me ask you something. Do
Okay.
you think had you kept playing, because we already know and it's been talked about, what were you when you graduated high school? You were number what? Top? I know you were top 5 in the state.
Yeah, I was top 5 in the state.
Okay, so in the entire state of Tennessee,
yeah,
you were top 5.
Yeah.
Coming out of high school, and then you go to college and you play the high level in college.
Played a high level card. My freshman year was probably my first match in college. I beat a guy that was like ranked nationally like top 100 or something like that. My very first match. First match in college. It was in Atlanta. We played a tournament in Atlanta. So
I'm asking. So I brought all that up to say, do you think? Let's say finances are not a problem. Let's say it's like, you know what, fuck school. This is what you finna do. Do you think you could have made it pro based on what you did in high school and college? And I'm not talking about being mentioned as a GOAT or nothing. I just mean, could that have been your job? Could you have made a living doing that?
I believe so. All things considered. All things considered, being focused. All things considered, being working a little bit more harder, because going to TSU, they're not known for your tennis team. Basically, for the most part, I went to TSU for the hoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be frank, because I had scholarships to go to these white institutions, MTSU, Austin P, Memphis, like stuff of that.
Yeah, after I decided that I wasn't going to be a member of the clergy, like, that became my motivation for anything.
Right.
But
so
keep going.
When you got a 26-to-1 ratio your freshman year, you know what I'm saying? Coming where we from, it's like,
I didn't go to TSU, and that's why I was at TSU.
Right. So that was money in the bank. So all things considered, like, because I slept, ate, and breathed tennis for a good minute, especially in my high school years. In college, that's when it kind of tailed off a little bit because I had other interests. You know what I mean? But I was still doing my thing. I was still good, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, things happen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I asked that because I'm sitting over here having fun with my beverage.
Man, over there getting it.
No, you got to get it right. That's that Thanos. You didn't get a
cup. Yeah, I didn't get the recipe yet.
Man, you didn't get a cup. I'm just gonna have to tell you because you didn't get a cup. I was gonna show you so you could make it yourself. But no. So the reason I asked that, and so
talk to me,
because I got faith in you. I believe that had you. Because you say work hard or whatever, but like the amount of dedication that your dad had put in with you guys.
For sure, yeah.
If money's not an object, like I think unfocused you could have been a pro. Now how good you could have been, that's a different thing.
That is a whole different thing.
That's a different thing.
Totally different.
But like, nigga, like we talked about this the other day, like, nigga Brian Scalabrine is gonna destroy a lot of dudes that's playing high level D1.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like Matt McClung, we can sit up here and say he's not supposed to be this. Like guard Matt McClung 1-on-1.
Over with.
And see what he do.
Over with.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Steve Kerr when it like guard Steve Kerr.
Yep.
Like it's some clips of Steve Kerr actually bop crossing. Like people forget Mark Price. Like he used to play with Mark Price at Cleveland. Yeah. Mark Price went to point guard
Mark Price was different, yeah.
Georgia Tech. They call it point guard U because it was him. Of course, you had Marbury, Jared Jack, Mo Miller played there. Like they got a lot of guards that came out of Kenny Anderson. There's a lot of guards that came through Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Mark Price was one of them ones.
Yep.
So you look at a sport like that, like basketball, like the worst man on the bench will go to any summer tournament, the Y, Mount Moriah in Memphis, and beat everybody.
No doubt.
Again, even out of shape now, some of these people that go to country clubs and they play all the time, I guarantee you, if I give you 3 weeks and you and your sister go out there and just 3-4 times a week for 3 weeks, y'all just get back and y'all actually play versus each other for 3 weeks, I guarantee you, anybody in a country club in Memphis, short of them having played professional, I got my money on you.
Yep. I like that.
Doubles, you and your sister, I got my, right now, nigga.
Yeah.
Out of shape, I got my money on you as arena right now versus any of these country clubs.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying, like it is what it is.
I'm interested to hear what you think. Though,
so with
about
that being said,
sport.
I was gonna say
I say top 3. I think tennis is top 3 now.
So because I've played a lot of different sports.
Yeah.
But being that my tennis career was nothing to, and again, and this ain't no secret. Like I joke about it. I was not good. I was horrible. And I didn't put the work in. Like I could do the basic. I could serve. I had great technique with the serve and everything like that and all of that. But returning, volleying,
no,
it's over with.
Yeah.
If you couldn't return, that was how I scored. When they couldn't return my serve, if it was a volley, it's over with. Like I didn't even I went back to return and I just knew like I wasn't even.
Yeah.
And so it's like because you try to play like okay I'm gonna try to, and you still overshoot it. And so I would just be like man F it. Every time somebody volleyed it back there, I'm crushing it. Right. I'm knocking it out over the fence because I knew I couldn't. Yeah. Like why is he hitting the ball so hard? Because that's the only move I got. So with that being said, I had to look it up because I was debating. Like I wasn't gonna say it was the hardest, but I wasn't quite sure. So I looked up 2 different joints. So the first one I looked up was an article on June 28th, 2023, by Sultan Khalid on Insider Monkey, which that's a site and they do like a lot of like they insider on everything. Like they talk about the stock market, sports, like just different stuff. So he did and so now it's another one I looked at, which is probably a little bit closer. But so he had the top 15 hardest sports.
Okay.
And they put a number by it, the degree of difficulty. So number 15 was swimming. And it's not just about like, oh, I can swim. No, like actually as a sport. Yeah. What it takes to do it as a sport and the muscles that are involved in that. And then not only that, if your technique is wrong, that can affect it. So that's number 15. Number 14 is figure skating. Because, again, first of all, the biggest hurdle is skating. Man. But then once you can ice skate, because it's not like roller skates where you got 4 wheels, you just got a blade. Yeah. And then actually being a figure, you're dancing and being rhythmic, like the difficulty involved in that. So check this out. Swimming difficulty is at a 23.2, but figure skating drops all the way down to 13.6. So the next one, number 13, is, and now again, some of these sports, some people will say they're not sports, but I'm just going off of this list. Number 13 is bull riding. Number 12 is cross country running. So when you're talking about cross country, you're talking about running not a mile, not a couple of miles. You're talking about running 5 to 7 miles, just straight in the heat, in the rain, like in that consistent. Everybody can't do that. Number 11 is rugby. where basically everybody you're gonna do between 20 to 40 tackles in a match. Number 10 is soccer.
Yeah.
So rugby got a difficulty of 9.4, soccer 9.2, but it said the soccer players are running between 7 to 10 miles a game. Just the amount of time that because you're just back and forth.
Yeah.
But then also to be able to kick the ball, whether you're blocking, passing, the whole 9 yards. Number 9 is water polo, which is like swimming, football, and so like when we watch it, we think they're in like I didn't know they're actually in the deep end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like they're kicking the whole
kicking
time, managing, floating, and like you're playing volleyball and basketball in the water.
Yeah.
But you're still different. Managing the state. So because I'm thinking the way it looked like, they standing up in the 5 feet. You know what I'm saying?
And they Olympics.
They are actually
floating.
You know what I'm saying? Floating and kicking
the ball and
using
your elbow.
So that's actually on the same difficulty as soccer with a 9.2.
Okay.
This surprised me.
Okay.
Basketball is number 8. Okay. With an 8.1 difficulty. But basketball is the number 1 hardest sport to go pro in.
Facts. Yeah.
And they said that it's the number 1 hardest sport to go pro in. But in terms of just not only the stamina that it takes to run up and down the court, you're playing offense and defense, but then also the skills that are associated with actually being a good basketball player, your footwork, the whole 9 yards.
I wonder when they say pro, are they meaning just like pro overseas or like NBA?
I guess period.
Okay.
Because, I mean, like, again, you look at the guys that are playing overseas, like Lester Hudson played for years overseas, but, like, he had a quadruple-double, in college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he had some games in the NBA where he was like a bucket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Ian Clark was one of they used to say he was the third Splash brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Germantown.
But, ended up playing overseas, but, like, he was a legit NBA guy.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, this surprised me. Wrestling is number 7 with a 6.6 difficulty.
Wow.
And now, again, this one has kind of tripped me out when they talked about what number 6 is, but I guess when you're talking about doing the tricks and stuff that are associated with, like, motocross was number 6. That's the motorcycle thing, like, where they doing the flips and the cartwheels on the motorcycle, like the dirt bikes and everything.
Yeah.
Because you got to maintain the balance on the bike. And so now.
That is different.
And again, this guy is because actually, the way I got it, it was on the ESPN site, but when I looked at it, it was like, it was originally posted by Insider Monkey, and they just reposted the interview. I mean, the list. Because this guy had the 15.
What's it called? Motorcycle what?
Motocross.
Motocross. Okay,
right.
Okay.
So, like, when you see, like, the BMX stuff.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
So, now here's the top 5.
Okay.
Number 5 is MMA.
Yeah.
And MMA is because you have to be a proficient at all levels of fighting, like whether it's standing, on the ground, grappling, defense, and then the stamina that's associated with it.
I agree.
Number 4 is football, American football. Because global football is soccer.
Yeah.
And now like I said, this is
tough.
This is that list.
I got
because like I said, I got the ESPN list too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the ESPN. Now the ESPN, I didn't go that deep. I only did the top 7 from the ESPN list.
Okay.
Number 3 is gymnastics, and which is actually one of the hardest sports for girls, which is why they have to start between the ages of 4 and 6.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's almost impossible to be proficient at it because of the flexibility, the balance, the hand-eye coordination.
It's a lot to go with it.
This tripped me out, but I guess it's kind of similar to figure skating. Number 2 is ice hockey.
Yeah.
And it's actually the fastest team sport.
Yeah.
Because, like, you on that ice, you're going, but to be able to go, you got to be on guard to actually be able to pass the puck and score the puck. And, you know what I'm saying? Just the level of mental and all of that.
Now, that was one of the sports that I had that would probably be above tennis, actually, the ice hockey. Because I looked at that like the stamina, the pads, the ice, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a lot.
And so number 1 is boxing.
I can see that.
And it's like they said, it's called the sweet science for a reason because it's not just it's the ability to hit and not get hit, the bob and the weave, but then also, like, man, and people say, and this is the trip thing, this is a joke. So for all you guys out here that's, you under 5 minutes in the bedroom, tell any woman that you mess with, get in the boxing ring for 3 minutes and see how long that 3 minutes is.
I'm about to say 5 minutes a
Check
good
this
time.
out. It's a clip. A dude made a TikTok video. So he had his girl. She was on the bed, right? She got a pillow. So he's like, no, you do what I'm doing. So he's like, hit it from the back, hit it from the back. So he had her demonstrating that, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, all right, now change positions. And so like, no, it wasn't a pillow. He had like a suitcase because he's basically saying like, y'all want us to do this with y'all. And he had like a timer going. He was like, it ain't been nothing but 1 minute yet. No, you ain't tired. Change, do it again. Like, come on, stand up. And like the girl was like running out of breath. It's like, yeah, now you clown us like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you can't even do a minute moving this suitcase around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, and I brought that up because again, like boxing, even just standing up, moving around, dodging punches, throwing punches. Now imagine doing that's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Now the good thing is the clock don't stop. The bad thing is you got to do 12 of those.
Yeah.
You got to do 36, and it used to be 15 rounds. So it used to be 45 minutes. Now in the exhaustion. So now, but boxing. So now you will like this on the ESPN list.
No, but I'm still on this other list. So they didn't have tennis in the top 15.
No. So now ESPN.
That's wild.
ESPN.
Wild.
ESPN.com. They actually ranked them, but the way they did their rankings, they did a lot of different. Like they had endurance, they had just strength. Yeah. So they broke it down by the individual, what it takes to do it, and then that was how they ranked it.
Okay.
So that's why their list is a little bit different because this list is just kind of, I guess, basically globally from what a lot of people do and participate in.
Yeah.
What they ranked as, what was most difficult.
Yeah.
ESPN just kind of took it and broke it down based on each individual category and then ranked it. So now number 7, and this is why I only stopped it at 7. Number 7 is tennis on the ESPN list. Up under MMA, wrestling, basketball, football, ice hockey, and again boxing. So now the similarity between the Insider Monkey list is that it had MMA in the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one had MMA in the top 6. Insider Monkey had football in the top 5, as did ESPN. They had ice hockey and boxing as 1 and 2, which ESPN also had the same thing. ESPN had basketball in the top 5, but I believe it's because, like we said, it's the number 1 hardest sport to go pro in.
For sure.
Because when you look at the NBA, think about how many colleges it is and how many guys actually play it. You got 12 to 15 guys on damn near every college roster, and it's only like 350 jobs.
Yep.
So you got hundreds of thousands of guys competing for like 350 jobs.
Yeah.
And so now if you want to add the G League in there, okay, hundreds of thousands of guys competing for 500 jobs.
Yeah.
If you want to add the G League teams in there.
Yeah.
And so then, like, to your point, okay, well, you go overseas, but again, overseas actually has a quota where they only like allow like 2 to 3 Americans per team.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like if you go to play over in Italy, most of Italy team is going to be made up of Italians. You may have somebody from Greece over there and a Spaniard or 2 and maybe 2 or 3 Americans. China is going to be mostly people from Asia, and then you're going to have a Stephon Marbury and Smush Parker. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like that is like the hardest sport, which is again why ESPN has basketball at number 4. To your point, it is a lot that's involved in tennis. Like tennis, you're not just gonna get out there. It's not just getting out there swinging a racket. It's footwork. It's hand-eye coordination. It's balance. It's also even like in the subtle way that you turn the racket. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't just, like I said, because me, I'm just crushing it because I didn't have no finesse at all.
It's a technique.
And I played with Danny DJ was he was our ace. But even like sometimes we played a Ridgeway. Ridgeway had like a guy from the Ukraine or something like that. Like this dude was amazing. Yeah. And like they had one of the most amazing matches I've ever seen. But in the end, that guy won. You know what I'm saying? Like, But again, like, and DJ wasn't no slouch, but like this guy, like you could just see, like that's what he do. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure I don't know if y'all have ever talked tennis, but like,
yeah,
DJ will sit up there and talk tennis with you. You know what I'm saying? Like he love him some tennis.
Yeah.
But it's not. While I do agree with Tiafoe, it's a very underrated sport in terms of difficulty.
Yeah. I think it's just you spitting out some of that list. Like, I would say I would put tennis down out the top 3 because the 2 I had in front of it was boxing and ice hockey. But I would put MMA in front of tennis as well.
Yeah.
I get gymnastics, the difficulty of it, but also you're in an air-conditioned space inside usually all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really out in the elements.
It's
And stuff of that nature. But as far as it could be difficult to do it, but I'm talking like tennis, not only the hand-eye coordination, but you got to deal with the elements. It's a lot of mentality stuff that you got to deal with. And one thing, what they're trying to push out now, coaching is more involved now. But before, the era I grew up, it would be no coaching on the court. If somebody was coaching you on the tennis court, they can call you violation. They just recently started doing it in the pros, probably within the last 5 or 6 years.
No, I mean what I'm saying is like your coach can get on the court now. Because that's why I asked when they started doing that. Cause
not like, get on the court, but they can say something from the sidelines. Because but when we was growing up, the officials, if anybody said anything or looked like it, you couldn't say nothing. Right, you couldn't say nothing.
Yeah.
But like now, they they're like promoting it a little bit more. But like you out there by yourself. Now if you split sets and you go to a third set, now you can get coaching once you go off the court.
Right.
But just you.
Well, like when they're doing like a break in between.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but just being out there by yourself in the elements, like you can remember. This is just like a coach with basketball, and there's nobody on the sideline. They give you the game plan before the game, right? And so you got to go through the whole 4 quarters, remembering what your coach said, but you got different stuff in the game. It's like it's tough. You get tired. Stuff happens. Like when you on the tennis court, it's just you and your opponent. If you remember exactly what the game plan was, fine. If not, you got to figure out midstream, and you can't have a coach say nothing to you. So you know what I mean. So it's a lot to go into it. But I put tennis in my top 5. I take off top 3 now. Since you did say a couple sports, I was like, yeah.
I mean, and like I said, so now I'm not saying that it's not.
No, I feel you. No, I'm with you. Yeah,
because again, like I said, I tried to play it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm with you. And of all the sports that I tried to play, which, believe it or not, the sports that I probably, the 2 that I was the best at, I didn't end up playing, which was soccer and baseball.
Yeah.
But like playing tennis, I was ass in tennis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Basketball, like I was average. You know, like I could play, but like I'm not one of them. Oh, if I wouldn't have got hurt, no, stop it. Like I was backyard university. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like football. You know, like I'm running out of bounds. You know, I could catch. I had hands, but like I'm running out of bounds. Like I'm not trying to keep getting tackled.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a very difficult sport, and for somebody who did participate in MMA, like it is a difficult one. Extremely, just the techniques and all of that, trying to stay up, and like when you're grappling with somebody that's 300 pounds, like
man,
that ain't, you know. I know we only had this. I wanted to ask you what you thought about what do you think about the beef between Charles Barkley and KD?
I think been seeing some of that. I mean, look, I think both sides of it. I mean, I get where Charles Barkley is coming from. Actually, I agree with Charles Barkley for the most part when he was talking about the bus driver thing and not being a leader and stuff of that nature. But on the other side, too, everybody leads different, you know. So if I had to pick a side, I would say Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say and this goes back to what we were talking about with Cam Newton. Like, I mean, guys got to start to learn to have a little bit thicker skin.
Yeah, man. Be aware. Be more self-aware.
It's a part of it, man. Yeah. And so like, you can't say and I was listening to it and I didn't realize that he actually said this because it was Gil and Shannon Sharp talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like Cam had said, I said Cam. KD had said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a leader, but I don't want y'all not to call me a leader.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, when you say you're not a leader, and then Charles Barkley says you're not a leader, it sounds like he's agreeing with you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you went to Golden State, you was like, oh, I didn't come here to lead. I came here to hoop.
Which that's what he did.
And that's what you did.
That's what he did.
And I mean, to your point, you were the best hooper on that team.
Oh, for sure.
They wouldn't have won back-to-back without you. Like, he hit
player.
2 daggers in both years, stepped up to LeBron and, like, drilled it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, in hindsight, it kind of made it seem to me like when he left OKC, it's like, if that's my team, like, no, y'all got to get Russ up out of here.
Yeah.
But you left. Like, it was Russ who.
Right.
You look at the Clippers, who do they say is the most valuable piece on the Clippers team? Who's the locker room leader? Mm-hmm. Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. Everywhere Russ is gone, and Bradley Beal was like, man, when I played with him in Washington, he's like, man, the first practice, he said guys joking, and he said it was a couple of plays. They came down and they ran assess or whatever. He said, man, Russ stopped everything. Mm-hmm. And was like, man, how y'all come down 4 straight times and he don't touch the ball? He said, man, that's Bradley fucking Beal. Mm-hmm. He said, who do y'all think y'all are?
Yeah.
4 times and he don't touch the ball once. Like, and Bradley Beal was like, he had never said that. And it was like, but man, Russ came in and set the tone. That Washington team made the playoffs.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they got beat early, but I'm just saying, everywhere he's gone. Yeah. So now look at it. You're not. You want to say, oh, well, Barkley didn't win, but I was watching the big pod or listening to the big podcast with Shaq. He had Dr. J on. And so Shaq was like, man, would tell the truth. Like, how was Chuck in Philly? He said, man, Dr. J said, man, the first day of practice, Charles Barkley came in and told all of them, this is my team. Yeah. And he said, now, Moses had to set them straight and Dr. J had to set them straight and some of those guys, but Charles Barkley had that mentality like, this is my team. Like, he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to win. Like, he came to Moses Malone, hey, help me get in shape because I want to be that dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, Phoenix won 50-something games, like, because that's the point Gilbert was making. But then when you put Charles Barkley on that team, they didn't just have the best in the West. They had the best in the entire NBA. Even better than my Bulls who won the championship that year. Yeah. Phoenix had the best record in the league. Mm-hmm. He was the difference maker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't like how what they do now, like you talked about the money thing. The other thing is like when I'm making a point now, you try to throw my stuff up in my face. I'm like, we ain't talking about me. We talking about you.
Right. Yeah.
Stop deflecting.
Deflecting.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing, man. Like I just KD is one of the greats. Definitely top 3, 2 in his generation.
In his generation, for sure. I agree.
I'm not gonna say top 10 all time, but I'd say top 20, 25 maybe of all time.
Yeah, I give him top 20 in mine right now.
Yeah, like I said, I would have to really sit down and make the list, but I know he's up there.
Yeah. I made one recently.
Yeah.
And so he's in my top 20.
Okay.
Yeah, he won. Yeah.
Before we go, are the Tigers making the tournament?
If I had to answer that right now, no. I would say no because we got to win the tournament in order to do that. Unless a lot of things happen, but we gotta win the AAC. No. Yeah, it's AAC.
Yeah,
I'm tripping.
yeah.
I'm about to say Conference USA, but no AAC. So if I had to answer right now, I would say no because we've been inconsistent. Okay. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, tell the people, man, what we got coming up next? When the next Preacher Man dropping? I've been seeing you been posting like when the next. I've been listening for them. Like I ain't seen it.
Yeah. Now,
like when is the next Preacher Man dropping?
Actually,
what we got coming up next?
This is a live stream. The Preacher Man actually with a guest. The junk be coming out on Wednesday. The first one is with Pastor Terrell Munger. So that will be out this coming Wednesday. I believe that's the 28th. Mm-hmm. And so I'll probably try to drop those probably every couple weeks or something with that. So, and of course I'm gonna have my boy Rag on there. So I think that's gonna be interested on the Preacher Man.
Oh wow, okay.
On the Preacher Man. On the Preacher Man. So
yeah, I'm actually supposed to be doing a wedding this month.
Oh snap! Officiating?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
I know, right?
Lord.
Oh, I'm gonna channel my. I mean, okay, look, for what it's worth, I'm still licensed by the state.
For
of
sure,
Tennessee.
yeah.
I just don't.
We've
talked about that. Like, I just don't. I don't believe in playing. You know what I'm saying? And like, if I'm going to do that, that has to be something that ain't just a job. That's a lifestyle.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't play with that at all.
Yeah.
You know, I got too much respect for the call. Like, we know, like who ran before us. Yeah. Dr. Holloway, Pastor Moss, Minister Lynch, rest in heaven. Yeah. Prentice Brown, rest in heaven. Yeah. Roche Ragland the first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who I'm looking at. Pastor Anthony King, Pastor Mike Arnold. Like I'm looking at the people who ran before me, who I heard and sat at their feet and listened to, who I went to school with, your cousin, Billy. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the only black dude there the first year. Then my second year, he came, and so he's like I felt like, and I'm like, man, you know, you a lot older, but he was like, man, you know, hey man, you encouraged me to see a young brother in here, and like, so then when he became a pastor, like I would see him come in breath. I'm like, it's like, oh, what's going on, young brother? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I look at people like that. You know what I'm saying? That pedigree. And so, and I mean, even like somebody like Pastor Terrell Monger, like a real dude. Yeah. I'm not finna play with that.
Yeah, y'all need to check that episode.
You know what I'm saying? But and I want to see it.
He put out a lot of gems in that. He put out a lot of gems in that.
But I definitely can't wait till, because he's going to be in here when we do a live stream as well.
He is going to be here too. He's going to be here too. Y'all, so it was another good live stream, y'all. I told y'all we're going to be back. And so we're going to do the same. We got a couple other guests coming up. You know what I'm saying? Real soon. No, Mo done hit me up. She ready to kind of come on. You know, she got a single out.
Yeah, definitely.
She got a single. So, but y'all, until next time, continue with that executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.